start. Okay, welcome. Now that you can hear me, welcome again to Ernie Academy. We are so happy to be here now with volume and in English. Thank you, Ares, for giving us the push. Okay, disclaimer is in English, so we cannot hear you, Ares. Okay, they then cannot hear you, Ares. Oh, why not? I only listen, Javi. Perfecto, maravilloso.
You still cannot hear me?
Okay, try now.
I think actually it's
Yeah.
Javi
Yes. Soy
that
yo.
wants to be the center of
Sí.
today's talk.
Yes, that's all. That's all. That's all. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Was my configuration because OBS is. I will have nightmares with OBS. Thank you so much. 8 minutes later, I'm going to start. Yeah, yeah. Thank you for your feedback. That's a feedback loop closed. Your feedback and we correct, and we are giving now the value that is the volume, as David said, uh, some chats before. So thank
And
you.
actually, I think that that's also a bit of karma because Javi is always kind of messing with us and joking with us. So OBS had to throw him. It was only fair.
Well, I'm going to start again. Okay. Hey, everyone. Thank you for coming. Thank you for your feedback. Thank you for helping us, for helping Earn Academy and us, the Earnians, to start again this value twitch. Okay. We're going to talk about value. Is a topic that came up last Twitch session in November. Thank you to Sandra that is here. Hi, Sandra, that proposed the topic for us. So we are talking about it. Okay, and let me introduce now the team. First, Josep Vives, our ex-developer and first-stage negotiator, Scrum Master at Ernie. You know the joke because I told it twice. Christian Sánchez, Scrum Master and Service Delivery Manager here at Ernie, and a professional cyclist. Almost. And then our new incorporation, Ares. She considers that her experience in IT as unexpected, but is a gratifying opportunity, right? Coming from the translation world. She claimed that anything make tech as a product journey inspires her. That is very good. Although do not expect her to code at all. Well, 4 or 3 at least. Giuseppe is developer, maybe he can code something. Welcome, Ares. Let me ask you one question. Why someone that could not work with engineers work with us? It's something you have an option. You had an option. We don't have an option. I mean, why?
You need to make life more interesting, right? You use some spices while cooking, so you work with developers.
That's a good answer. And the fourth horseman of the Agile Apocalypse, myself, that I'm messing with OBS today, and at least we can do something. Thank you for your patience. Scrum Master attorney. I'm Scrum Master, and that's all. Like last time, we have a little script, okay? That is a guide for us, but well, the idea is to conversate, to be as much natural and spontaneous as possible, and introduce your comments and your questions to our chat. Okay, so if you have doubts or anything, please comment as you did. So thank you so much. But we are talking about value. What is value? How do we generate value when working, developing new products and services? And how can we help teams and organizations to work around this concept? As I said, the topic came from November. We were talking about the start points, and one Sandra that is here today asked us about value, and if value and story points are related. So let me be clear: there is no relation, and topic is closed, and we can go on. I don't know if you want to add something related with that. There is no relation. Effort with value, not at all, for me at least. Okay, so we're talking about value, okay, not values. They are two different things, although they are related. because both kind of guide us, or it's a beacon towards we move. Okay, they are very different. Okay, values are, well, reasons or what moves us, and the values what we are giving. No, I like very much. I like very much to definitions from dictionaries, for example. If we go to the Merriam-Webster, for example, value have different meanings, and we're going to stick to the four ones. Okay, for yeah, the first four. Okay, the first one is the monetary worth of something. The second is a fair return of equivalent in goods, services, or money. The third is the values relative of worth, utility, or importance. And the fourth, sorry, is that is something intrinsically desirable or valuable. Okay, I like it very much because it is saying us that it's something that have worth, utility, or importance, or is desirable, and that someone maybe is willing to pay for it. So maybe, okay. So they are very related, and that's cool because it's more or less what we found in our experience when we were preparing this session and with the documentation, no? And why it's hard to identify and understand value in teams and organizations? Well, I strongly believe it's because it depends about the product, the sector, the users, the customers, the solution. It's different for each, I don't know, ecosystem, and then it's difficult to understand what means value for us or for the product, no? For me, simple. I don't know, or you, what do you think? But value is what make our products and services desirable for users and customers. That, in general, for stakeholders, but for users and customers, that they want our product and they use it. That, let me introduce something here. Surprise, users and customers, they are not always the same. Well, in my experience, they are never the same. Okay, they are all stakeholders, but, well, and I think that this is why value is so important, because make our products and services desirable, and by doing so, people use them, people buy them. I don't know. What do you think, guys? What, for example, Ares? Let's start with you. That you are the new one. As product owner, yeah, you are here. You're working here as product owner. Why is difficult sometimes for teams, or how do you work with your teams in around value?
So it is easy to just consider yourself, this is value, that's what I'm gonna look for. But are we actually transmitting that to the teams? Do they know the impact of their work? Are we encouraging them to ask why? Why are we doing this? Do we need to do this way? Why are we doing it in this moment? Why are we doing it for these people? These questions are important so that we can form actually a link with the team, and that our end product, whatever it is, whatever the industry, can be closer to what we would consider as valuable. But
I like your word choice here. You say impact. What do you think? Do you think that values that really impacts to users, customers, and really or general customers?
Exactly, and especially if you were mentioning before stakeholders that have something at stake. Mm-hmm. Maybe it's money, maybe it's time, maybe it's that they're gonna have consequences because of using one thing or the other. So it cannot be thought as one way, only one point of view. Needs to be as more transversal as possible.
Josep, are you going to add something? Sorry.
No. The thing is that's the point, no? Because we as Agilists, we try to maximize this value, no? This is one of the main objectives of Agile: maximize the value we're offering to a stakeholder. No? So then it seems that it's important to understand what value means or what is valuable. No. And the other day I was thinking about it, and something that I heard once, that we usually tend to think about value when we think about value, we think about money. We can think about revenue, these kind of things. And I heard an expert who said once, try to think in an airport, for instance. Okay, many of the airports are not generating money. In reality, they are in loss, but they are useful. Okay, if they wouldn't be there are a lot of people whose lives would be worse. But the airport, even though it's not generating value, it's generating money. Sorry, they have value. They are useful. So this is another point of view of thinking about value.
And that's a very interesting example that we can tirar del hilo. In English, I don't know, but we can work with it because Raul said to us something the client would pay for because it solves one or more of his needs. But I was thinking about, Ares said a lot of times, and you have said again, the word of stakeholder. We work with the word stakeholder, not customer or user. In the airport example, the users are the people who are taking the plane, okay, or no. The client may be, who is the client? That's the question. It's the government, it's the area. For example, you know that Ryanair, the client of Ryanair is Girona administration, for example, in Girona, because they ensure a number of people traveling to Girona, to Girona area, or to the area, for example, here in Spain. So maybe but there are other stakeholders. The government, for example, other parts of the government that they not fit in the client or user part, but even though they have value, or the product or the airport is giving value to them, no? But more or less this example, right? What do you think?
Definitely. And continuing with this airport metaphor, yes, an airport might not provide you revenue, but for these users, they are gaining time. And what is more valuable than time, for instance? So that's why I believe Giuseppe is going to introduce very shortly, apologies for spoiling, a bit different types of value.
yeah, well,
and how really things that we just take for granted are actually different types of value. And that when taking decisions, when trying to prioritize what has more value or what will provide more value, need to be taken into consideration.
Yeah, we are going to that. Thank you for the spoiler, Ares. Thinking about talking about the stakeholders, one thing we discussed and is very interesting is who are inside these stakeholders, because value is related with our stakeholders. Our stakeholders need to, from my point of view, we need to know their opinion. That is why, for example, sprint reviews are, no? But there are lots of stakeholders, so maybe teams also find hard to understand or to find the stakeholder that they need to talk with. I don't know, in your case or experience, what do you think?
From my point of view, I think that each company or each enterprise or even each product needs to define what is the value for them. And it's something that in my experience, sometimes it's a bit difficult to really find out what is value. It can be money, sorry.
So no, sorry for interrupting. It's difficult to understand which is the value, or we are not doing even the exercise. What do you think?
No, I think that even from the customer, client / stakeholder, sometimes they really don't know what is value for them. Can be money, sometimes can be the revenue, as you said was saying. Even can be the number of users for a specific platform or software solution. From the point of view of if you let me keep me attached in the software area because I feel more comfortable from my experience. From the beginning of, if you have some free time and you are really bored, you can review the Aj Manifesto. And one of the ideas is to, at least at the beginnings of 2000, the idea was to have a piece of working software. This is the main idea, having a piece of working software, no matter about the value. Then time goes by, and the companies realize that maybe having a working software is not enough. Maybe you need to have a valuable software behind the piece of software that you are delivering.
This is a discussion that came 1 or 2 years ago when the manifesto
was reviewed.
20s
exactly.
birthday.
And maybe we need to review if having a working software, or you can call working software or whatever you want, it is a real value for the customer, because at the end you were mentioning sprint review, and maybe in the review you are showing something that the customer, or even maybe for the customer, that doesn't have a value per se, because nobody has invested some time reviewing what is really value for you. What do you want? What do you want? What do you really want? Do you want a new functionality? Do you want an increase in the quality that you are delivering in your product? You want to have a better position in the market? And sometimes nobody's asking these questions, and of course nobody's answering.
But here is another question for you three. Ares, I will let you, just as one thing. Christian are saying that customers value what they need. So do you think that we as users and customers of a lot of things in the world, we know what is value for us, or we know what we want, or what we need?
That's the thing. That's the couple of words that need to be taken into account. So sometimes people might know what they want. Not always, but they might know what they want, but not what they need. Mm-hmm. And so our mission is fully understanding what they want, which are their desires, and go deeper to actually what they need. That's what's going to provide the most value, not just fulfilling a wish list because.
And that's it's a very, very interesting concept. And that another question, taking your last comments, Christian. We're talking about value as global, no? And you are talking, and we are mostly talking about users and customers, no? What they want versus what they need, no? These kind of things. But what about the organization that is paying us? I mean, what is the value for, in this case, Ernie, no? For example, when we gave some service to our customers, is the same the value we are pretending or we need that the value the customers need? They may be related or not. What do you think?
Maybe we can refine the question and make it more difficult in order to say, okay, who are we talking about when we say customer or stakeholder or final user? If we are providing products or services, sometimes the person who is using physically this product is not the one that is receiving the value, no? Mm-hmm. So maybe there are different point of views, different kind of values, depending on who we are talking about. And we as a consultancy, I think we should be aware of who pays, who uses, and who receives this value, no? What do you think?
That's on point, I would say. If we would be thinking, for instance, in anything medtech, sorry guys, gotta talk about it.
It's because Ernie Consulting is expert in medtech, and we are the top consultancy firm in that sector. But you can go on, Ares.
Thank you for allowing me, Javi.
Cuña publicitaria.
So the thing is, if we are asked by a pharmaceutical company, please develop a product, This company might be our customer, and obviously we want to make them happy so that they extend our contract, we gain more money, and continue living. But what are they gonna do with this product that we develop? So there might be some users, for instance, doctors, nurses, just clinicians in general. And we also need to make them happy. Think about which are going to be their struggles, which are going to be their desires. But lastly, so we would be having just short recap. The company as customer, these clinicians, let's say, as clients. But there's some people that they wouldn't even fit into a end user category, which would be the patients. And they are also impacted by our product. So imagine how hard it is to make all of these people happy.
Yeah.
While also being happy ourselves.
And this the consultancy firm reality is that makes that our reality is more complex than an organization that is giving a final product, because we have the values we are pretending to give, as you said, we are pretending to give to our client, and the value our client is trying to pretend to go to the clients and the stakeholders, and it's a chain, no? That we're going a little bit on a little bit forward. Okay, let me share with you guys the 5 types value that something we start discussing and we used to discuss according to the Liberators. So this is a good guy. If you don't know the Liberators, I encourage you to follow them on LinkedIn or Twitter or in their webpage. They are sharing a lot of interesting content, Barry and Christian. So, and it's related with I'm sharing it now because it's related with what Ares was saying and what Ares said about questioning. Ares at the start, something that you said that is very interesting is how we work with our teams, and you said asking why are things. So this is very interesting because Christian and Barry introduce us for them, okay, 5 types of value, okay, commercial, my hand, what is my hand? Commercial, efficiency, future, market, and customer value, okay, and why? I think I like it because it's very simple, not for me. I don't know you guys, but for me, it's not about relating one type of value with one PBI, with one product backlog item, or with something. It's more about what Ares said that is very interesting, Ares, about asking the right questions. Okay, so something as commercial value, if our organization that is providing a service or a product is going to obtain more money. Okay, so the question could be how does the item save? How this item increase our revenue or profit in this project or service? No? For example, the efficiency is different. Is how for our organization, how this item, this thing that we are going to change to this increment is going to save us money and money or time. I relate the efficiency. I don't know you guys, but I relate very well with the technical debt. The typical technical debt that we have in our backlogs, and I think everyone has technical debt in a backlog, right?
And if you think you don't, it's because you haven't taken a deeper look at it. So do it.
So yeah, is that the way? And the question is, how doing that we are going to save money or time? And that's a very interesting question. Yeah, thank you, Oliver. This is the article, I think. Yeah. We will share all the articles later in the Twitch and in your YouTube channel, so don't worry for looking that. So, but thank you, thank you, Oliver. So I remember we were talking about it before the session. I remember one experience I had, that some team that wanted to do a 2 months development, 4 sprints and more or less, to correct some technical debt for them that makes them difficult to do some task. Okay, there is a task that they had to do every 1 or 4 months, and they want to stop doing it manually, automatically. So they are pushing very, very hard to do it. But when we make the numbers about the value, about how much money, how much time we are saving, was 2 months of development versus 2 days per year of effort for doing this manual task. So in fact, even I understand the reasons, and I'm a line that is very annoying to do something that is could be done automatically, but it's not giving value to us, to our organization, to our product. It's prevent us to generate other value with the effort. So it's very interesting, these questions. Okay, and trying to go a little bit quicker, sorry. For example, market value is more about how we can attract people to us. So for example, in this Twitch session, our question is, what can we do to attract more people to our Twitch? No? We are now, I don't know, 27 viewers. So the question could be, in the next, how can we attract more people? That's market value. Okay. Customer value is about retention. We have the commercial, that is money, and the customer value is retention. Is that questions that related areas about needs and how our customers, what they need, what they want to keep them using our product, to keep them, for example, in this Twitch, no? And the future value is some things that we think that will save us money or generate more customers or whatever in the future. Okay, that's something that is not directly impacted at short time. What do you think about these 5 types? I like it very much because they're very simple. Only for making questions and understand if one thing we are pretending to do is has enough value or not. What do you think?
That in the end, these 5 types of values just need to be seen as someone with multiple personalities. Just one person, the total values, what needs to be taken into account, but considering all of this. Just thinking, right, this is super painful, as Javi was mentioning. That's what makes us, that's what will make it more valuable, might not be the right thing. If then you're only gonna be able to have a return of investment in 20 years, for instance, or if you have one person that's constantly asking you to do one thing, and yes, this person is gonna use it very often, but you're having 50 people that want something that might use it a bit less frequently, but it's 50 people. So, okay, there's some thought to have about this discussion, because obviously we cannot do everything at the same time. That's the reality. We're machines. We're not machines. We're humans, fortunately.
For now. I really hope to be an Android in my future. That it's my dream. So, Ares, completely agree. There is backlogs are for, because if we can do everything, we don't need backlogs. Christian, Josep, what do you think? Do you like it? Do you think it's, as a Scrum Masters, do you think it's a way to work with our teams? It's easy? It's not easy? What do you think?
Well, I was thinking that you have asked before, like what can be the value for a company like Ernie, for example, and with these types of value that you were explaining to us, I was starting thinking in the different layers that we have in Ernie. We have people from recruiting, we have people from marketing, services, managed services like us, people working in the customer, with the backlog coming from the customer. And if you ask every different department, or if you want, or the cadre layer, they are going to have their own definition of value. The key point is be able to align the different values for all of us in order to deliver, let me use these words, to deliver a product increment every month in ERNI as a consultancy company. Because if the commercial values are more important than the market values, or than the customer values, or the efficiency values, we are going to start having issues, or even we can have a good delivery. We can have good delivery teams, but we can have a really poor communication strategy, for example. I don't know. You need a common strategy in order to have all the values aligned behind the same idea. And sometimes it's easy to start doing mistakes and put more effort in one area and less in another one because it's less important for you. Maybe because you didn't do this exercise, trying to recognize what is the value at the end, asking the right. I think you have said asking the right questions, but it is maybe the most difficult exercise, no?
Why?
Be able to find the right question. Yeah.
And how can Agile and an Agile mindset help us on that? On making sure that we're really going for the maximum value.
Well, I think that we have two great opportunities to talk with the team and with the product owner, and then with organization. I mean, two main opportunities. Let me start again. Imagine that you're working with Scrum. With Scrum, you have two excellent opportunities to talk about value. One is the retrospective. I strongly believe that the team needs to understand what is value, because the team needs to help the product owner to understand what has more value and what has less value. Okay, and a great product owner has these 5 or whatever types of value and understands how to balance. And the other tool, the best tool of all, is sprint reviews if you are Scrum. Because in sprint reviews, if you are doing well, you are measuring, you are empirical, so you understand that you have commercial value and you're going to to earn X money, some money, and then you measure and you know it in the future, checking it, and you can explain it in a review, sharing with the team, and take conclusions and learn from it. And outside Scrum, well, it depends on the organization, Ares. Is the organization agile? Has forums? Has feedback loops? Okay, has breakfast with diamonds like in ERNI? Okay, for the learners, breakfast with diamonds is one. I think it's one each month, right? Each month, some of us talk with the managing director in a small group, and we can talk about everything related with the organization and look for points of improvement. Okay, that no organizations, the managing director or the CEO is talking with the teams to understand what could be improved in the organization to generate more value for the customer, for some stakeholder, for some of them. Okay. And it depends on the organization, I think. I don't know, Josep. I don't know, in your experience as Scrum Master, what do you think about it?
Following your ideas, you said a moment before, how do we tell the teams what is valuable or what generates value? No, there are many things or many ways to do this, and many ways to measure value. When we were preparing the session, we found a really nice article about from people from Harvard, and they prepared. You have to imagine a pyramid. Okay, you have to imagine a pyramid, and they said different levels. Okay, for amazing.
Magic.
different levels on how to level these different values, no? And they said, okay, let's put on the bottom the functional values. If we make an analogy with Maslow's pyramid about personal needs or we can find here the most important, the more primary values. No, for instance, let's measure if this product or service saves time or reduces risks or even makes money or it has quality. Okay, they are the things that we mostly want from every product and service.
The base, no? That it must know it's called the psychological needs, no?
Exactly.
Physiological.
Physiological. What you need to live and survive.
Eat.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's
So,
sorry for interrupting you. I
yeah,
don't know you guys. I'm asking your opinion. That for me is very powerful in here. That quality is in the physiological needs, in the layer.
Exactly. Quality, how to reduce risk, costs, avoid hassles. This kind of more priority things or more primary things that we want to achieve in our products. On top of that, there is another layer, the emotional one. No, okay. If we can go one level up and say, okay, is this producing wellness, or how is impacting wellness? Does it have therapeutic value? Even is it make fun, or how about entertainment of these services? No, for instance, does it have some kind of level of nostalgia? What about the design? What about the aesthetics? No, these are things that we should provide to the teams in order to create something that meets these kind of values. But we can go one level up and, okay, let's see how this product is changing our lives. Does it produce hope? Is it motivating? More social, no? What about affiliation? Which kind of impact is creating on society, no? And if you go to the top, these people say that, okay, the top layer is about self-trust, and then what about the social impact our product should have? So here we have some kind of prioritization about value. When we want to make value, when we provide value, we should know the product enough and our users enough in order to select which one of these are the more priority values that we want to produce, right?
Yeah,
I don't know if product owners, Ares is here, if she's able to do this kind of exercise, or this is totally utopia.
No, that's not a utopia at all. And something that I would like to add as a disclaimer, there isn't a good combination or a unique combination of values, depending on in which area you're working on. Some combinations might fit better to the needs. So taking into account that it's constantly changing, and that one thing that can be profitable on one aspect might not be that good of a choice for another one.
Yeah.
I know.
What I find, I don't know. Do you really have time, Ares, for example, to do this analysis as product owner? Because what I find it is very interesting, very interesting, but too complex. For being real, for being honest, I share the link with you guys. I find it's very interesting how different they explain that different products could be different types, no, the value, and they are important one in one product and one in another, no. For example, we're talking about medical device, no, so quality is the top ones for sure. Maybe in others is not the top one, but is in the important as well. But I find very complex, for example, to explain that or to work with that with a team or in a product backlog. I don't know, guys. What do you think?
I mean, it helps if you're always or on a constant basis working within the same area, so that then you can focus just on a handful of qualities for value. I reckon that's very hard. We need to be honest, and we might not always make the best decisions, but that's what's good about working in Agile, having fast feedback, seeing all your failures and saying, okay, how can I prevent failing like that again? That's life.
I like
Nobody.
I like the again. I already failed. Okay, but I like it. I like it.
That's it. Nobody should expect to make everyone happy, especially if you're a product owner. That's my advice.
It's a good statement. You're saying good statements, Ares. Today it's a good statement. You're not a croqueta. You cannot make everyone happy at the same time. So you need to understand what can we do. Talking about complexity again, and also for going forward a little bit quicker because we want to go to do 45 minutes, 1 hour, and we are now 45 minutes less. My first failure. Okay, I learned about it, so don't worry. So talking about complexity in this model is also because one thing we don't talk today, could be another topic for another day in depth, is how measuring value. We are talking about what is value, what is interesting, making right questions, understanding the needs, understanding the value is different, and then understanding that customer stakeholders are very wide, and you need to understand each part. You need to take into account each part, but we don't talk about measuring. No? And I don't know, guys, but measuring, as we said, commercial, for example, as ROI or no, I see quite possible, not easy. I say it possible, but measuring, I don't know, motivation or nostalgia. Nostalgia. Let me choose nostalgia. How do we measure that we are providing enough value in nostalgia? It's a question, literally. I don't know. I don't know.
Well, I don't know. Maybe this pyramid is like, we should understand it like a best practices or a way to have a mindset able to connect us with the value of the product. Maybe we cannot accomplish everything that we have here. As you are saying right now, nostalgia is a qualitative attribute. No? How can you measure the nostalgia that is giving us a product? Then
but there are ways to measure, or more or less quantitative, right? Or not?
Yeah, but this is qualitative.
Qualitative, I mean.
Yeah, it's clear that you can have like an OKR. You can have an objective that is something that is qualitative, an idea, something that you want to achieve, something really, really big, like a dream, even sometimes for the companies to become like I don't know. Let me put this example, Steve Jobs. It's impossible to not mention this. It's the idea was to become the most or the biggest company in the world, at least during period, if it was like this, and all the people decided to have a device going from this company, right? And maybe the idea probably was not the idea for Steve Jobs wasn't to have a mobile device phone with a lot of features. It not was the idea. The idea was to become the best company in the world, and this is a qualitative thing. At the end, you need to measure from a quantitative point of view, but this is the way to achieve the qualitative idea. Right? You need something that is going to attach you to the reality. From my point of view, nostalgia is not this kind of things that can attach you to the reality. Something more qualitative, more. I don't know.
Maybe I'm not. I'm not a product owner, first of all. I'm not expert in product, but maybe we are not. I am not. Imaginative enough. I mean, maybe the idea is to relate nostalgia with some that is measurable.
Yeah, maybe you can use assessment. Maybe you can ask the people, the final user. Maybe you can ask even the, I don't know, stakeholder, whatever you want to call, whatever you want to call it. But
I came up with an example. Yes. I came up with an example. I imagine that most of you have seen Stranger Things. So Stranger Things, one of the value is nostalgia. Okay, everyone that has a bicycle, a walkie-talkie, or a Wallman is watching.
But nostalgia is depending about the age, right?
Yeah,
Because for a
yeah.
guy
But
50, yeah.
if you measure how many Netflix users between, I don't know, 30 and 50 years are watching Stranger Things, and your objective is 80%, and you are matching it, you are giving the nostalgia value to these users, right? Or not? Pregunto, eh? I'm asking. I don't
Yeah,
know.
no,
It's something that came up.
maybe you can use it like as I was saying, like an assessment or some question. But it's in the emotional layer. But yeah, you can be right. Why not?
I just have the impression that you're saying, sorry, Giuseppe, I'll give you the word. That you're considering these 30, was it types of value as Pokemon? You gotta catch them all. No. These are types of value that exist. And these types of value should help us in defining it. Does it mean that we need to measure them every single one to know value? No. That's not valuable, actually, for doing that.
It's like a Scrum. We have a framework, but it doesn't mean that we need to use everything all the time and doing it well. Maybe you can tailor it a bit depending on your company or your enterprise. And this can be the same because, as I said, with a good example with the Pokemon, you can have everything at the same time and making a self transcendence. This is really big word, maybe.
I don't know.
I agree your points. I agree your points. On the other hand, I think we have a challenge here about measuring things that make sense. No, because if we don't know, for instance, what about the adoption of our releases? How often we release? How many bugs are generated? How difficult it is for our users to use the product or to deploy these products? Maybe we are not having information enough to evaluate some of these values. No, so I think it's impossible to measure everything, but we should have a balance and measuring things that make sense. No.
In fact, there is some trend now that it reminds me to the Nostimates, okay, because maybe it's misunderstood. That it's called stop data tyranny. No, and it's called that sometimes there is something that there are some decisions that have to be made that data is misleading or is not valuable or to see, I mean, it's too difficult to get the data to take the decision, so you have to take the decision with other inputs, okay? Not raw data, no? Like how many users are using this stuff or how many money are incoming from that solution or product. Could be related, could be related. I like very much the Pokemon. I like Pokemon. That is. Comment better. Yeah, well, it's a question. I agree. I completely agree with you, Ares. There's not talking about everyone. I pick one randomly. Okay, I pick one randomly. But of course, I imagine that, for example, in medtech, I don't know. I can share again the pyramid. I imagine the medtech, for example, quality is a big one, but nostalgia, for example, is maybe
for the legacy code you can have.
I don't think so.
I don't think too many developers would agree with you, Christian, on that.
I was going to say.
You can comment whether you agree with Christian or whether you would like to just see fresh new technologies.
I was going to say that maybe wellness in MedTech is something important, but wellness is about related also about not having technical debt or forget them. Is the same time at the same time is related with tech debt. Everything is related. No, but I imagine that, for example, wellness in emotional part is more interesting than nostalgia. I don't know. for Netflix nostalgia, maybe it's something that is, or if you are producing LPs, I don't know how to say in English.
But depending, because this is related to segmentation.
Hmm.
For instance, imagine something I'm thinking now. Imagine these radio players. Okay, now you can have the most modern radio players, digital ones, but there is a trend to buy some radios that have a retro appeal, retro look. No, well, this is nostalgia, and you have a target here. You have people who will, from my age, for instance, they will pay money in these kind of things instead of finding something that looks really modern and nice. No,
Young people, millennials, you mean?
young people, exactly. Young spirits.
Okay, guys, I don't know if you want to share anything else. We can leave it here if you want. If you want to share anything else related with transition, big, yeah, great. If you want to share anything else about value, okay. I don't know, Ares, Josep, Christian, something. We know there is a lot more here, but as little introduction, I think it was very good. I'm very happy. I'm always happy if I see you. You know it. No sé hacerlo esto.
And maybe I would say, for us in the Agile community, it would be extremely valuable to know what you think about this Twitch session. What are your concerns? What are you looking for? We need your feedback.
Yeah. You can reach us looking for us on LinkedIn. We are for here looking for our names: Javier Hernandez, Josep Vives, Christian, or Ares. Okay, you can leave a comment in Meetup, in Barcelona Scrum Meetup English. We also read that. We are co-administrating the meetup with Alex Bayarin. Thank you from here, Alex, for collaborating with us. Or in Twitch. Okay, reach us, tell us. We're looking for new topics, so if you have something that you're interested on you think that we can do some things better, or I don't know, or you don't like the format, or you like it very much, let us know, okay? Because we are thinking about changing formats and so on, or testing new formats and keeping this. I like it, this, for example, I like it very much. So yeah, Ares, say thank you, and that's all, guys. I'm gonna leave it here. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much for viewing it. We hope that you like it, that you enjoy it, that you learn a little. In 45 minutes, 1 hour is the match we can do. No sé cómo se dice esto en English. Well, we try to explain a lot of things related with value, but value is a very, very complex and deep concept. So if you are more interested on it, please comment. Let us know. We can talk in depth about, I don't know, how to do retrospectives around value, how to work on reviews with teams, more specific things. If not, well, we are here. Thank you so much for coming. And that's all.
See something before?
Yeah, por supuesto, of course.
I only want to say thank you to Ares to join us. We really appreciate it. And I hope it's going to convince other people from the community. We have a lot of people there behind us, collaborating with us, giving their ideas, etc. And I would like to have these people here collaborating with us and spending the time not only like an audience, being part of us and sharing their knowledge. I would like a lot.
And it might not seem like it, but there are quite some women involved.
Exactly.
A lot of women.
We want more women.
Yeah.
I see here Patri, I see here Sandra, I think it's Laura, Carmen, a lot of women. So women in tech, no?
We want the value, okay?
And if you are not from Ernie, you can collaborate too. Reach us and you are welcome. It's something that we organize and we move because Ernie supports us, and we have to say it.
By now.
It is a good place to work, and we are happy. So we are very, very happy to Ernie that help us to organize these kind of things. But you can come, sorry, and join us, okay? And we'll have kids and daughters, or we'll have to go home, right, Ares? So Ares is in the office, so thank you, Ares,
Yeah.
for
Alice is
for
in the
being in
office.
the office, and even that, being here at 7:30 with us.
Yeah.
So
Not a big
thank you.
deal. It was definitely worth it. So thank you, everyone.
I'm glad you think that way. Thank you, and bye-bye, guys.
Bye
Thank
bye.
you.
Thank you.
See you
Bye.
soon.